So I created this look, this purpley kind of, not smoky, but a little smokier look with my two new things that I got. I just got this Morphe 35N palette. It's beautiful. And I got this Colourpop shade in the shade Eye Candy. Want to see how I got this look? Keep on freaking watching. Just kidding. Keep on watching. I'm going to prime my eyes. I use two primers. I use first MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour Extend Eye Base. I saw people talking about this on YouTube. Bought it. Don't love it. However, I spent $19 on it, so I'm going to use it. Okay. On top of that, I'm going to go in with a MAC Painterly Paint Pot. I used to use the soft ochre kind, but the shade was a little weird for some reason on my eyelids, and I found it hard to cover even with eyeshadow, so I'm putting Painterly on. And I like this one a lot better. It's a lot smoother. So now I'm going to set the Painterly Paint Pot with my MAC StudioFix Powder. This is not a necessary step, but like I said, because I have extremely oily eyelids and because I have hooded eyes, oily eyes and hooded eyes don't make a good combination because all of your eyeshadow is going to transfer. So I just like to set it. Okay, I'm going to go in with my Morphe 35N palette. I just got this palette and I'm obsessed with it. Using this shade right here, it's just a really pretty like brownish and it has cooler undertones in it, and I'm going to use that all in the crease just to start. It's a nice transition shade, but it's a little bit darker as well, and it's going to go really nicely with the look. Okay. Also using a Morphe brush. This one doesn't have a name, but I am using a Morphe. Just a fluffy brush. I'm just using my Real Techniques domed shadow brush just to blend it out one more time. That's good. Now I'm going to pick up my 35N palette again. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this purple shade right here on the same soft domed shadow brush from Real Techniques. And I'm going to put that in the crease. Just to make it a little more purple. I'm going for more of a purpley, kind of pink-ish look. And so I'm going to put that in the crease and in my outer V a little bit as well. But I'm bringing it in quite a bit into my lid. Not quite on the lid, but lower than the other shade. Once again, blend. This brush is also a little more stiff, so it's nice if you put a little too much of something on there, it's easy to blend it out. That same brush that I used that brown shade in, and I'm just going to use windshield wiper motions and go back and forth in my eye, just to kind of seamlessly blend the two shades together. Pink shade right here. And I'm literally just tapping my brush in there 2 times. It's kind of like a bubblegum pink, but it doesn't come out like really bubblegum on your eye, which is good. Then once you get it all blended and good to go, we're going to do the star of the show, Colourpop. This Colourpop shadow in the shade Eye Candy. It's just a stunning color. Look at this. It's purple, it's got some flecks of glitter in it. Colourpop shadows are little, I love the shades and the formula, but it's just a weird formula. If you've never used one before, you won't understand, but if you have, you get it. It almost feels like a cream, but it's not a cream. So on the website, it recommends that you apply it with a fingertip. You just put all over my lid. This would be nice as like a pop of color in the middle too, but I just love the color so much, I'm going to put it all over. I just use it about 2 times just to get to my desired color, and then I'm going to go back in with the same brushes and just kind of clean it up a bit. Just to try and get it. Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit more of that purple, and I'm going to mix it with that brown, same brown shade I used before. And I'm going to put it on the outer part of my eye and just kind of Put it in a little. Okay. So basically that's it for the eyeshadow. I'm going to do my eyeliner. First thing I'm going to do is prime. I'm going to prime with my Professional by Benefit. This is the only primer I like to use because I have huge pores and really oily skin, and this is the only thing that really I feel covers up my pores at least a little bit. I mean, nothing will ever fully cover them, but that's okay. So for foundation, I am going to be using 3 different foundations. I am a diva when it comes to foundations. I'm going to be using, this is my favorite foundation at the current moment, but the shade is too dark for me. It is Maybelline Superstay Better Skin in the shade Ivory. My MAC Matchmaster foundation in the shade 1. I also have the shade 1.5, but it oxidizes a ton. Makes me look really orange. So I'm going to do 2 pumps of that. Use 1 pump of my L'Oreal TrueMatch Lumi foundation just to give it a little bit more luminosity, because this one doesn't make me that oily, and it just adds a little bit of lightness to the foundation as well, which I definitely need. But I just get a brush and I mix them all together. And I focus most of the product on the outer parts of my face except for my forehead. I don't put any directly on my nose because for some reason my nose is like really dry before I put foundation on. Using my Real Technique sponge and pouncing it on the skin. Takes a while for me to blend it all out. Okay. I don't worry too much about under my eyes because I put concealer on anyways, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's all blended out. Next thing I'm going to do is my concealer. I'm going to be using 2 different kinds of concealer. I've been testing out the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous concealer. So far I don't love it. It is a very, very thin concealer, which if I'm just like going to work or I just want a little something, I will put it on. I'm just going to put a little bit down the nose, a little bit here. I'm not trying to get too crazy with the concealer highlighting or anything. Once again, I'm using this, blending it out. I basically only use a sponge to do this. I'm looking for a nice foundation brush. To set the under eyes, I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. And I'm going to be mixing 2 shades. I'm going to be mixing this matte pink shade and this matte yellow shade. And I'm going to be using, to set it, my e.l.f. small tapered brush. Just going to put that in both. This is just my favorite setting combination. And this small tapered brush is everything. I'm just going to do that. Be careful not to be too rough with it because you don't want to take away your concealer. I'm just going to set all those areas that I applied my concealer. So under the eyes, a little bit on the forehead, down the nose, and on the chin. Next, I'm going to just set the rest of my face. Not necessary if you don't have oily skin, but because I do have oily skin, I like to set just as a precaution. I'm going to be using my MAC StudioFix Powder. It's in the shade NW18. Very pale, I know. But this is honestly the best powder foundation that I've ever used in my entire life. Most days, if I'm just going to work and I'm doing my makeup, I'll do like my eye makeup, and this is the only thing I'll wear. It's a medium coverage powder foundation, and it's just incredible. It keeps me matte all day long. I barely have to touch it up. Liquid foundations really keep me oily, and I always have to touch them up, but this is just so great to be contouring and bronzing my face with my Anastasia contour kit. I use this middle shade right here. It's definitely more gray tone. I have dark hair, and I wouldn't say an olive skin tone, but how would you say my skin tone is, Sarah?
I don't know, light.
Light, yes, light. But I don't have much pink in my skin, you know. any shade, no matter what it is. I don't know what it is about my skin. I don't know if it's because I'm oily or what, but it oxidizes so bad on my skin and it turns orange. The only color that does not look orange on me is this shade right here. And this is the shade Fawn from Anastasia. My friend who worked as like a makeup artist, she did my makeup and for my birthday, and she even said that Fawn looked a little orange on me, but in the right lighting it was fine. But I can't use any other color of anything really. Like, this is the only thing that I so far have used that I like. And I'm not really contouring, I'm just trying to warm my skin up a little just because it's summer and I don't want to look like a dead person, you know? And I'm using another Morphe brush. I just got this in a set for Christmas, and it doesn't have a name on it, so I can't give you the exact name. If I was going to contour, my favorite brush to use is the e.l.f. contouring brush. So affordable, these brushes. I'll just do it a little tiny bit. These brushes are just so affordable and they're so easy to use, and has a similar idea. It's like the NARS Eater brush, but for not even a quarter of the price. Next thing I'm going to do is apply my blush. My favorite blush brush is the Real Techniques Multitask brush. This doesn't have to only be a blush brush, it's multitask, but it's pink and it reminds me of blush, so this is what I use. I'm going to use a mix of two colors, and these are my favorite blushes of life. The Too Faced blushes. I'm going to be using the shade Justify My Love and Love Hangover. I do mostly Justify My Love with a hint of the shade. So I'll always go back with my powder brush and just kind of blend them out because they're just crazy pigmented. To finish my under eye. For the under eye area, I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I just kind of want to do something minimal. I'm going to put a little bit of eyeshadow on my under eye using this Morphe brush. It's just a very like small definer brush. That would be nice to use. And I'm just going to use a little bit of that pink shade mixed with that purple shade. And I'm just going to put it right under. Okay, so quickly I just applied a little bit of highlighter. I'm not much of a highlighter girl because I just feel like it accentuates my texture on my face. So I just put a little bit on. I put it on the tip of my nose, on my cupid's bow, and on like the chin, just a tiny, tiny bit. I'm using Lunch Money Super Shock Cheek. It's a Colourpop highlighter. They're really interesting. I don't know how I feel quite about them quite yet. They're beautiful, beautiful when they're swatched. And then on top of it, just to give me a little bit of a little extra something, I'm gonna put just a little bit of this bronzer. It's a bronzer, but it is very strange. It's almost like a highlighter. So I just tap my finger in it and just right on top put a tiny, tiny bit, just to give me a little something extra. Okay. I'm gonna be doing my eyebrows really quickly. I'm gonna use my Colourpop eyeshadow. My Colourpop eyebrow pencil. My Colourpop eyebrow pencil. This is the best eyebrow pencil I've ever used. Like, it's honestly so smooth. It almost feels like a gel. It's very strange. I love it though. So I'm going to be using that. So this is just like a nice brown color. Matches good. And then it has a spoolie. After I do that, I'm just going to set them with a brow gel super quickly. My brow gel looks disgusting, so I'm not going to even show it because it's like really gross looking. But I just use the e.l.f. clear brow gel. It's not great, I'm not going to lie. It's all I have right now, so that's what I'm using. Just to brush through, keep them in tame. Okay, last but not least, I am going to be using another Colourpop product. I did a lot of Colourpop products. I'm going to use my new Lippie stick in Lumiere. It's a beautiful shade and it goes really nicely with this color. And then on top, just to mute it down a little tiny bit, I'm just going to put a gloss, and I'm going to be using my NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie. It is a must-have gloss. It's perfect. It smells so good. And it just really, it makes every shade look perfect. So yes, this is the finished look. I love it. I definitely am going to keep wearing it. Wore it to work yesterday, wearing it today, and I'm going to wear it tomorrow to work. So, that's it. Sayonara.